This is Amy Zawi with the Jerusalem Connection Report Friday Red Alert for January 27. Small victories. The battles are heating up amongst the BDS movement, that is the Boycott, Divest, and Sanction movement, which is principally active on college campuses, but also among community groups, political and economic groups, as well as the arts. It is also an offshoot of anti-Semitism that seems to rear its head on the international global scale, including at the UN and various European summits. To sift through all this, and even to trust the various press outlets, is also often very difficult. But here's a few bits of hope emerging from around the world. For example, after the UN resolution in December that condemned Israel for its settlements and called it an occupying power, even in East Jerusalem, where it has had presence, the Israelis, that is, the Jewish people, for millennia, the U.S. had abstained from that vote, which was a de facto vote in approval. That said, the Trump administration, then not yet in power, vowed to address this once power is assumed. In addition to that, a summit in Paris in early January included sanctions and condemnations against the nation of Israel, and the UK walked out of that claiming it would not participate. While there was some uptick in some various anti-Semitic activities in London, there was some good news further south on the continent of Europe. 2 Spanish municipalities had at the local level passed BDS activities and actions to include outlawing economic, commercial, education, and cultural exchanges with Israel in an attempt to be a so-called anti-apartheid municipality. That said, a Spanish court at the national level struck down both these local measures, citing illegal assumptions that these municipalities had made. That included that they attempted to act on behalf of the entire national government to make trade or political policies and edicts, and that these actions are actually based in a discriminatory premise, that is, anti-Semitic premise. So the BDS activities got an official, documented, legal blow, and this is good news. I find that the more BDS activities seem to heat up, whether at the local level or at the international stage, the more righteous firepower seems to come out against it. This, of course, is the hand of God working. Back in the United States, 1 week into a new administration, there are meetings and activities about moving the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. David Friedman, the man tapped by Trump to be the next ambassador, also indicated his desire to relocate the embassy and his desire to reside in Jerusalem when he is there. With Nikki Haley also recently approved to her UN ambassador position, we now have a win-win. We have true advocates for Israel speaking on the international stage on behalf of Americans. Moreover, Trump, in his first week of office, has already phoned Benjamin Netanyahu and invited him to the White House, thus helping repair an 8-year cold shoulder the U.S. at the executive level has extended to Israel. These political moves that are helping undermine BDS are indeed affecting what happens on college campuses and at the local level, because it's a top-down recognition about who Israel is in reality and who the Jewish people are around the world, and that these BDS or anti-Israel actions at every level have at their core an anti-Semitic underpin. The rule of law will recognize in the United States that an intellectual debate about Israeli policies and Middle Eastern issues can indeed happen and should happen, but not at an unfair or unprecedented double standard against the Israelis or the Jewish people internationally. President Trump may not be an expert on a multitude of issues. He might not be an expert on foreign policy, human rights issues, or even Middle Eastern topics. But what he does do is surround himself with good people who are, and he knows when to listen to them. This is a renewed solidarity and loyalty and friendship with our closest ally in the Middle East, Israel. And I'm excited for this new era where the leadership of nations are not only taking care of its constituents and their best interests, but also how that helps each other. We are on the right side of the debate at this point, in my opinion. Shavua Tov, have a great week, and Shabbat Shalom.